Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Season 1 of Locomotive Royale. No, sorry, wrong show. Loco Dome. Loco Dome, that's what it is. We had a little, sort of production hiatus. I had some in the, I had some in the chamber, and Thanksgiving came around, and, it was long enough for me to forget what this show is, I suppose. But I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. With me, I do not have a technical advisor, but I do have two contestants that have won and lost their fair share of games. Um, and if you want to play along, you can buy our trading cards at theironhorseman.com. There's a link in the description. Also, if you want to play in these, since we are sort of running down the end of this, there are going to be, like 8 more episodes after this one, something like that. We're past the halfway point. So we will be having another bracket or something in the not-so-distant future, and if you want to hop in, you can join our Discord server. There's a link in the description for that as well. But let me introduce the bracket. Let me show everyone where we are. This is the winner's bracket. As everyone watching has seen, this individual has beaten out and won the winner's bracket. But they still have to face the winner of the loser's bracket, which is where we are today. Today we're facing off Brian and Fort. Brian with the Albertans Articulateds, and Fort with, what was the name of your lineup, Fort?
Gone but not quite forgotten, I believe it was.
Something like that, yeah. The winner of this will go on to face Kaiserin, which, Brian, if you win, that means you get a rematch.
Oh no!
And
if I don't win, then Fort, good luck. You'll need it.
I have my experimental madness. He has his they have their experimental madness. Sorry, yeah.
She has her experimental. Experimental madness plus a lot of style points.
Yeah, a frightening amount of style points.
Express.
Yes.
That was the first match that was won by someone who was not in the lead in the points. Anyway. The winner of this will go on to face Kaiser, and the loser of this will unfortunately be eliminated from the bracket. And if whoever makes it through here makes it through Kaiser, and that means you get to face either Horizon, Bender, or AJ in the loser's bracket semifinal.
Oh boy.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I will ever make it there. I doubt it. But if I end up having to face off against AJ, that will be brilliant.
I kind of want to see Fort with the Selkirk against AJ with the Selkirk. The Selkirk versus the Super Selkirk, rather. But with that in mind, let's introduce our rosters here. Let's put that away. Brian, you have an all-articulated roster, as folks have found out. It was only last week, or perhaps the week before, that you faced off against Milky, with this arrangement including Milky's own forgotten child, the Pachat Bourdon, which is a French double Fairley with 2 boilers and all sorts of shenanigans. Trench engine.
Very cute. I've grown to like this engine. I just wish that there was a version stateside, but unfortunately, despite being built here, none of them work.
It's terrible. Anyway, you also have Skookum.
It's good though.
No.
Now this is a good engine though.
It's too good. It's so good that the Little River sent it back to Baldwin and said, "We don't want this." Anyway, you also have 2 identical copies of one another. Weyerhaeuser 110 and Weyerhaeuser 110, one of which survives.
They both survive.
They both survive.
One of them's been converted to a tender engine.
Okay. And
Use
then
those stats.
Finally, you have the Double Chooch Western Maryland 1309. Honestly, if you were able to put together the tender engine stats for Big 110, it would be really funny.
I mean, I probably could. I just have to figure out what the tender is and what the weight of it is now that it doesn't have tanks.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah,
let me grab a picture of it in tender engine form so you can see.
The weight of it would mess with some other things, like the factor of adhesion and tractive effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would probably be worse overall.
Well, yeah, that's what happened to...
Yes.
That's the Merger Mania picture. That's what happened to the Uinta engines. when the Sumter Valley mutilated them. Anyway,
This is it right now.
speaking of abominations, oh god, this
Oh,
thing's horrendous.
so sad.
It does look pretty sad. It's missing some bits.
It actually looked more horrendous when it was in good condition.
Well, no. By speaking of something horrendous, I was talking about the water tube super pressure disaster piece of the CP8000, which is the headliner of Fort's lineup.
Yeah.
Oh. It doesn't look that bad.
It doesn't look bad on the outside.
Yeah, it's when you see the boiler in like with all of its just bare tubes, you think, "Oh God, that's scary."
Yeah, it's
And also,
Why is it not scary?
it's Call of Cthulhu in there.
yeah. Also, can I get a style point for having a ghost llama?
Yeah. Yeah, we do have that.
Ghost
That's
alpaca.
the mascot of your lineup. Anyway, that is the thing
phantom
being
alpaca.
referred to by the gone but not forgotten is the ghost alpaca, or
Yeah.
ghost llama or whatever it is. You also have this is your small engine 136, which is still in service on the South Smoke.
South
Someday
Simcoe.
I will
No,
see
it
it.
says South
Someday
Smoke.
I will see it.
I'm calling it. This is the Snoop Dogg Railway.
I've seen its like cousin or sibling 29 in Calgary when it was downtown, but now it's displayed on CP property, which is not public.
Oh, right. You also have this. What gauge is the R?
The little guy, the O10O, that is 30-inch.
Okay, I was gonna say you have a 2-foot gauge engine as well, but no, it's slightly bigger. But yeah, isn't it like P? Oh, it's the P5. I always thought it was an R, but it says P5 on the side of the cab.
No, I mean, yeah, I got a better scan of the picture, and it's an embossed P5 on the side of the cab.
Isn't that neat? You also have Flying Knotsman, and this thing.
And the little what was it, the wheel range, the Boston?
This is a Boston type, yeah.
Yeah.
244.
It's adorable.
It's really cute.
It also looks very French for some reason. It looks like it would be designed by the French.
Which is
Minus
weird.
the whole... Minus the aesthetic of the Lithuanian railway.
I mean, that's kind of weird given the fact that it was based off something from Bavaria.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not going to go as far as... Go ahead.
Sorry. I've seen French commuter tanks that have a very similar aesthetic to this. That's why I said that.
The thing that I feel like that's missing is the shape of the cab is very unique. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. Let's flip a coin. Brian, your heads. You guys both know quite well how to play this game. It comes up tails. Fort, what locomotive would you like to start with?
Well, I gotta start off with the 8000.
Probably a reasonably smart play. Brian, what would you like to respond with?
Keeping with the reasonably smart, I've got to respond with 1309.
Alright, we wanted to see this up against one another. That's what you were talking about right before this started. And now you're going to see it.
I'm scared. I'm very scared.
You maybe should be. Fort, what is your first stat call?
I mean, of course, I'm gonna have to call boiler pressure first off.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you do have something you know you're gonna win.
Yeah, you first.
What's sad is that I'm pretty sure there are other engines in my lineup with a higher boiler pressure than 1309. 210.
210. Fort?
Yeah, 850.
850. Alright. I don't know why I always...
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why I always expect it to be the even 800 or 1200. No, 850.
Well, that also the thing is your boiler pressure is like is 210. I mean, my low pressure boiler is 250.
Yeah.
You can go boiler pressure 3 times if you want. No, you can't. Fort?
No. Yeah. So I guess next. Oh no, actually, don't do that one because this is. No, definitely not. That's a bad choice for that one. Yeah, tractive effort.
Tractive effort.
Reactive effort. Oh boy, that thing is the most powerful locomotive in the British Empire, so I am scared. 70,773.
90,666.
It's also
I had
the
right to be scared.
it's also the strongest individual locomotive in this entire bracket, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
But it is also the strongest locomotive in the entirety of the British Empire.
Yeah. Well, that's on them, really.
Yeah.
Fort,
I'm going to go with wait, articulated. Okay, wait. Engine wheelbase.
engine wheelbase.
Engine wheelbase. 48.83.
Oh God. Okay. 47.54.
That was very close.
I was not expecting it to be that close.
Interesting pick, Fort.
Okay, wait, let me see the tender on this thing. Overall wheelbase?
Overall wheelbase, 88.56.
I'm sorry, what?
88, Back to the Future, 0.56.
99.29.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Okay. Yep. Fort playing looks like he's the smaller engine. You are not. You are not the smaller engine. Brian.
I would have. Okay, mine.
Alright, let's figure something else out. This might just immediately go back to Fort. Minimum weight of rail.
107.
Oh, thank God, 102.
102. Alright, it's 2-3. The thing I have to say is that the what an interesting start. Just I had something more composed to say, but now I forgot what it was. 2-3, Brian.
Rigid wheelbase.
Rigid wheelbase.
23.5.
What's funny is that if I were counting both, I would still win. 10.
10. Alright, it's 3-3.
Year built.
Year built.
1931.
1949.
So the thing I was going to say is, unfortunately, Fort would not have been able to do an appropriate film study on the last match Brian was in. But we kind of learned that 1309 is not really that much better than an overgrown logging tank engine.
What?
It's
Well, not a logging tank engine. That was a tender engine as built.
oh right, okay, yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that was a Northern Pacific engine that frickin' what was the company? Polson?
Yeah.
No, Rayonier picked up.
Sorry, what I should have said was it's not. It's sort of like an overgrown logging Malay, not tank engine. It's just
It's actually USRA.
yeah.
No.
That
Okay.
explains a bit. All right.
So essentially, it's old mod on steroids.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, next pick, Brian.
Builder.
CPR Angus Shops.
Like, I'm sad that I'm calling this, but like, still, Baldwin.
All right. It is 5-3, Brian.
Number and class.
Just the one.
10. Number built.
Just the one.
10.
All right. 7-3.
I'm not gonna call that because that scares me. That also scares me. Oh boy. There's too many scary things in here.
This is the beginning of the game when you know the least about your opponent. It's always this is where things get messy.
Right, segmented boiler, flue tube length.
19.11.
23.
23, which is a really high number for flue tube length. 8-3.
What's funny is that's a foot shorter than most of the other classes on this page. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm taking a risk. Tubes.
Tubes.
158 by 2 inch.
Damn it. 241 at 2 1/4.
2 1/4. Point goes to Fort. 4-8.
Okay. Now I got to figure out what I can actually call against this thing because my whole world. Okay, wait a second. Actually, what is? Okay, so you know what? We're gonna go with firebox area.
Firebox area.
I was avoiding this one. 389.
Oh, thank goodness. 520.
Yeah. Of
You
course you're going to
see the
win that. You're
difference here.
water tube.
Yeah, I know, but he's also a giant articulated thing from America, so I get
You're
mixed up.
bigger than me.
Yeah, you two are the same size.
This thing, it may be massive in comparison to my roster, but this thing is small in terms of mainline articulateds.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm pretty sure the only things that were smaller were like really early things and some of the Santa Fe stuff.
Santa
Okay.
Fe is. We're not
All
going to talk about
turned
Santa
to
Fe.
burler.
Okay, so let's go with evaporative heating surface.
Evaporative heating surface, 4,825.
4,266.
Well,
What?
all of his square
Okay.
footage is in the firebox. Brian?
Alright, I remember now, low pressure cylinders.
Right, yeah. 24 by 30, and I have 2 of them.
35 by 32, also 2.
You know, there's a low pressure on low pressure call. You don't see that too often. Brian?
We saw that last time. High pressure cylinders.
Yeah, okay, now you're just rubbing it in. I got 15.5 by 28, and I have 1.
22 by 32 by 2.
Okay. 11-5. Brian?
Alright, now I gotta think again. I'm not calling that, because I know that's just gonna lose. Even though I won that thing. That also seems like a terrible idea. Crap, what would be good? How about engine weight?
Engine weight. Okay.
Engine weights. Where I have to scroll up my page for this. 495,250.
434,900.
Unsurprisingly, it is lighter. 12-5.
Tender loaded weight.
300,000.
208,200.
Alright. 13-5.
Total engine and tender weight.
795,250.
643,100.
14-5.
What's funny is that you're the most powerful locomotive in the British Empire, but I'm pretty sure you're still not the heaviest.
Yeah, it only held the most powerful in the world for a very short period of time.
Yeah, because, like, I'm pretty sure it's like some American thing took it
Of
immediately
course.
after.
USA.
I think, like, the CSA Challengers, or
Probably.
maybe not, I don't know. Weight on drivers.
Weight on drivers. 320,550.
Ah, crap. I had a feeling this might have gone haywire. 366,700.
Alright. So that point goes to Fort, and the first markers are on the board. And yeah, no, leave it to America to be bigger than everybody else. Ain't that right? Hamburger.
Hamburger. Okay, so now I got to do some things that I know I'm going to win. So, Robert Limousine's power computation.
I'm gonna lose. 15,162.
65,450.
Yeah, that thing's broken.
Yeah, same as above plus superheater percentage.
17,740.
86,644. Same as above, but substitute firebox for grade area.
95,577.
585,130.
$500,000.
Is there anything in the world that gets that close in stats?
Not
Well,
maybe
well, I
like
mean, it-
60,000. You know, something else with a water tube boiler.
and but
60,000
also,
at a water tube boiler?
yeah, that's one of the reasons why it was never picked up because it kept leaking.
Yeah, it was a problem.
So what was it, Ellis?
How did I know?
Remember the earlier version of of this where I hadn't ironed out some of the stats and that went up over 1 million?
Oh yeah, it was in the millions. If I remember, it was like 8 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
This would be
it
a
was-
perfect match for. This would actually be a perfect match for 60,000 because 60,000 is a 410-2, which is a reverse Selkirk.
Yeah.
although I
So
know,
a 3-cylinder.
although the problem
Oh,
with
God.
60,000 is it doesn't have an 800-pound boiler pressure. Anyway,
Well, it probably has some advantages going for it.
all right, Fort, what is your
L1.
next?
L1.
L1.
8550.
143,473.
All right, 10 to 14.
Power empty.
Power empty.
308.42. It's bad.
4,933.76.
4,000.
All
Fort-
my engines combined could probably only account for like a third of that.
Fort, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Were you saving these stats for after the markers came up so they couldn't be blocked?
Not initially, but I knew specifically what I had to do
Okay.
when stuff started going downhill.
Well, because
How is I going to block these stats? Nothing can beat them.
that's the point. You have a marker, but
yeah.
you couldn't use it. I was going to say it was brilliant if you did that intentionally. Something to keep an eye
Well, I
out
mean,
for the people playing
It
at
wasn't
home.
it wasn't something I did like from the very beginning, but once I started failing, I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Ah, there we go.
Anyway,
Okay, so I'm going to
it's 11 to 14.
yeah. So I am. Let me just double check something.
Well, you're almost out of time.
I'm going to switch.
Swap 2.
I'm going to swap to the P5.
Okay, the P5, which is the
O10.
O10. Okay,
I'm sad it's not the 462.
you are now calling with the P5 number 54 against.
Yeah. So I'm
No,
going.
wait, shit. I was thinking of the G5. Never mind.
No, okay, so first off I'm going to do wheelbase ratio.
Wheelbase ratio.
0.41.
1.
The good one. 12 to 14. Fort.
Axle loading.
I actually have this, believe it or not. 62,600.
16,535.
Okay. 13 to
Okay.
14.
Oh no, definitely don't want to do that one. Oh god, I thought there were more I miscalculated. I thought there were more weight stats left on the board. Okay, what has it?
Yeah, the board has 27 calls. You're in a tight spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna do your weight computations, Ellis.
Okay, ET's weight computation.
I'm gonna block
With?
Special Bourdon.
Okay. Give me 1 second to reset the board, and then I will ask you for the stat there. That was 27 stat calls before this one. There have been 2 markers used, and that was Ellis D'Amelio's weight computation. Which, it's always nice that I came up with that. It was not my intention to round it out to exactly 40 stats, but that's what it did at the end of the day.
Might have
What
made
is
a
the,
mistake, I just realized.
What is the ET's weight computation of the Sharp Bourdon?
1.
1. Against?
1.
1. Brian, you are the opposing contestant in a tie. Would you like to swap to attempt to break the tie?
No.
Fort, you must swap to attempt to break the tie. What'll it be?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to lose it anyway, so let's go with What will I lose the least on? Wait, why is this one so much older?
You gotta decide.
You know what? I'm going to go with the TK.
The TK, okay. The tea kettle. Um,
Yeah.
what is the ET's weight computation of the TK?
I'm gonna have to actually do math because this version of the stat sheet does not have it auto calculated.
That's unhelpful.
Get Miller's weight computation. Sorry.
Make sure you write it down after you do it.
Oh no, I definitely will be. Which I have a piece of paper out already.
No, put it on the stat sheet calculator.
Oh yeah, probably. Ah. Oh, where? Okay, of course. Now that I'm stressing, I'm having trouble finding the stats.
That's okay, no pressure. Why aren't you done yet?
Yeah.
This was an interesting pick. I don't know what I would have gone with in your position. But Brian, that
Okay,
was a pretty
yeah.
good play.
Yeah. So it's 0.43.
0.43 against.
1.
1. The point goes to Brian. It is 15 to 13. Brian, you're calling with the Pachot Bourdon against the TK, a number 11, and a clear board, bar 1.
Alright, now it's time for a ballsy move.
Okay.
Power MT.
Power MT.
Okay. Okay. 735.55.
1401.72.
Okay. That was a ballsy move indeed. Definitely a flex. What's next?
Time for the opposite of a ballsy move. Number in class.
4.
280.
Alright. 1713.
Number built.
4.
280.
Alright. 1813.
Builder.
Skoda.
I love that, but also this too is a Baldwin.
19 to 13.
Speaking of 1913, you're actually nope, never mind. Scratch that. Nope. Rigid wheelbase.
Rigid wheelbase.
That would be 7.54.
1.475.
Very small. 20 to 13.
Engine wheelbase.
Okay. 31.49.
7.55.
7.55. Brian.
Overall wheelbase.
31.49.
7.55.
Alright. 2213. Brian.
Weight on drivers.
Wait on drivers.
Wait on drivers. Give me just a second here.
Ford's got to get
I
the book.
forgot I didn't have my good luck charm on me. 78,401.
28,197.
That could have been closer. Brian.
Total locomotive weight.
Total locomotive weight. 182,785.
28,197.
Alright, 2413.
Engine weight. I forgot to call that.
I refer you to my previous answer.
As do I.
Okay, 2513.
Minimum weight of rail.
65.
12.
12. I wonder what, like, never mind. I'm wondering how resilient the human body is. Alright, Brian.
Tubes.
Tubes?
Yeah, that is one of the few stats I do not have.
Do you have something with it?
Yes, I do.
Switch to it.
8,000.
Okay, 8,000. What are the tubes at 8,000?
158 by 2 inch.
96 by 1.772.
0.772. All right, we've got a second set of markers on the board. It's 27 to 13.
Oh boy, this limits my options a bit because that immediately rules out the next thing I was going to call. Oh, no, I'm not risking that. No, no way.
You have the
But that
largest
does open up one thing, tender loaded weight.
tender loaded weight.
Should I? No, okay. 300,000.
In the words of my opponent, big fat goose egg.
Okay, 28 to 13.
Oh. Oh, that might not be as risky as I think, unless... Yes. No. Yes. Fuck it. Loco base ID.
Loco base ID.
I am going to block.
With?
I'm going to block with the... Wait, which... oh, God, which was it? I'm going to block with the TK.
The TK. What is the
No,
loco base ID of the tea kettle?
1307.
1307. Brian?
Damn it. 4953.
49.53. Oh, that was a little ballsy, and it did not pay off, but that was a good block on Fort's part. It's 14 to 28.
Okay. I'm going to go high pressure cylinders.
6.89 by 9.45 by 4.
Can we get the math on that, please?
Yeah, we're going to have to see that.
I don't think that Brian wins this, but I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to 4 cylinders. How big are yours, Fort?
19.69 by 24.8, and I only have 2.
Yeah, I think you're going to win this by a landslide, but I just need to see. Yeah, 1409? That is...
Oh, God.
Those are some tiny cylinders.
Okay,
right.
I have never once been happy for the exponential growth of volume.
That's a quote. All right, Fort wins that, of course, fairly handily, 15 to 28.
Okay, so this... Wait a second, actually, Brian, can you just tell me, your engine, does it count as... Is it 1 boiler or 2?
It counts both boilers, but they are small.
They are also physically separate. Like, you could explode one and still have the other one.
Yeah, but only the firebox is shared, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the firebox isn't a pressure vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go tube flue length.
Flue tube length.
Yeah, even if it did count them both, I'm pretty sure I'd still lose. 5.71.
Oh yeah, so 12.46, and then there's a bunch of other smaller numbers.
All right, 16 to 28, Fort.
Firebox area.
Firebox area.
40.47.
100.54.
Okay.
More than double.
You know, I never did I ever think that my little commuter tank would be the big engine in a scenario.
Well, yeah, this is 2 foot.
Yeah, right. Great area.
Great area.
5.06.
21.96.
All right. 1828.
Also, I'm not sure if this is 2 foot because the gauge is listed as 60 centimeters.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I always thought this thing was 2 foot.
What is 60 centimeters?
60 centimeters. Oh, no. Yeah, it's 23.5 inches. That's close enough.
Yeah, so it's...
Okay,
yeah,
never mind. It is 2 foot.
That would be just a slight re-gauging.
Yeah. Put bigger tires on it.
Actually, I don't think it would be if the tires are wide enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go with evaporative heating surface.
Evaporative heating surface.
Evap heating surface. Savannah, Atlanta, 290. Atlanta, West Point, 290.
290.
1,000.
I mixed up.
Yeah. 1,132.
Jesus.
132. You can just give the number, 19 to 28, Ford.
I was about to say evaporative heat or superheating percentage or superheating surface, but I don't know if that thing has a superheater or not.
Interesting question.
You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to do tractive effort.
Tractive effort.
And I am going to block
With?
1309.
Alright, I was expecting this. Ford, I feel like you could have just hung on there for a little while, and Brian would have run out of things to call. Instead of using your block. But let me square this up here. That was 20 points before the block. There were 4 markers used, and what was that was just called? Tractive effort. Brian, what is your tractive effort?
70,773.
For what is the tractive effort of this?
26,347.
That's less. Okay, point goes to Brian. 29 to 19. 12 points until the next set of markers. Builder.
Skoda.
Baldwin.
Again. 30 to 19.
Oh, oh yeah, it just counts as a 0, doesn't it? Low pressure cylinders.
Low pressure cylinders.
This engine does not have any.
And what are yours, Brian?
35 by 32 by 2.
Okay, 35 by 32 is enormous.
Speaking of enormous, high pressure cylinders.
19.69 by 24.8, and I have 2 of them.
Nice. 22 by 32 by 2.
Okay, 32 to 19. Oh, let me mark that. That was high pressure cylinders. Alright, it's 32 to 19.
Evaporative heating surface.
Evaporative heating surface.
1,132.
4,825.
3319.
Superheating surface.
414.
975.
Alright. 33 or 34 to 19.
What? Okay, wait a second. Are you saying that thing, that giant, giant articulated, only has like over twice the superheating surface of my little commuter tank?
Yes, and that's because it was based on a USRA design.
Ah, okay.
So it may have been built in 1949, but really the design dates back to World War I. This is design-wise the same age as the Peugeot Bourdon.
Alright. What is your next stat call?
Combined heating surface.
Combined heating surface.
1,546.
5,800.
5,800. 3519.
Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
Heating surface over cylinder volume.
129.51.
342.78.
129 is so bad. Alright, 3619. Brian.
Robert Lemessina's power computation. Ba-ba-da-ba.
Alright.
4,460.
15,162.
Okay. 3719.
Plus superheater percentage.
5,654.
17,740.
3819.
Sub firebox for grade area.
25,888.
95,577.
3919.
Firebox area.
Why was I having such a hard time finding that? 100.54.
389.
40. 19.
Grade area.
Great area.
20 21.96.
72.2.
All right, 4119, and we have the third set of markers. Now what? Now you got options.
Swap back to the frickin' Peugeot Bourdon.
All right, swap to Peugeot Bourdon. Let's hear it. What's your stat call?
Number and class.
Number in class.
4.
280.
All right, 4219.
Number built.
4.
280.
Now what?
Rigid wheelbase.
Rigid wheelbase.
7.54.
1.475.
4419.
Engine wheelbase.
31.949.
7.55.
Okay, 4519.
Overall wheelbase.
31.49.
7.55.
4619.
Weight on drivers.
Okay. 78,401.
28,197.
4719.
Engine weight.
182,785.
28,197.
4819. There are no surprises in this matchup, which is sad.
Total engine and tender weight.
182,785.
28,197.
Right, 4919.
Minimum weight of rail.
Minimum weight of rail.
65.
12.
12. It is 50-19. Brian is halfway to victory.
Els Tamalio's weight computation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like the block.
Block width.
The P5.
Okay, the P5. What is ET's weight computation to the P5? Actually, hold
1.
that thought. Let me just take care of this really quick. That was 22 stats called for this one. There have been 6 calls, 6 markers used, and that was Ellis Tamelio's weight computation. Yours is 1, Fort.
Yep.
Brian, yours is?
I had a feeling this would happen. 1.
Brian, or sorry, Fort, you are the opposing contestant. Would you like to swap to attempt to break the tie?
No.
Brian, you must swap to attempt to break the tie. What'll it be?
It will be, small 110.
Small 110, which is the one with the color photo.
Let me calculate this real quick.
Fort, that was
all I know is I will lose.
Fort, that was a good Uno reverse card using that same strategy.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you were going to use that marker on. I was wondering if you were going to wait until Brian ran out of steam and had to give you back the ball.
Oh no, I'm gonna take it.
You see, it was either that or calling Power MT, and you know how that would have ended. 0.82. So not bad, but not winning.
Actually, quite good, yeah. Well, Fort gets it. It's 20-50. We've got 10 points to the next set of markers. Fort's calling with the P5 against little 110, which is not very little at all, actually.
Yeah.
It's little in comparison. Well, it's the smaller of the two.
Yeah, but they're still not little and big. I'm not abiding by that.
Yeah.
Fort, what is your stat call?
Light and heavy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with Loco Base ID.
Loco Base ID.
3,643.
1310.
1310. Still kind of ballsy against an unknown to call Loco Base ID, but yeah, it is what it is. 21250 Fort.
Overall wheelbase.
Overall wheelbase 37.75.
No! 39.
Oh my word. Well, 51 to 21.
Standard
Brian,
gauge tank engine shorter than narrow gauge 010.
that's not
Tender
something I
engine.
expected, but here we are.
It's a tender engine, so
Yup. That's
Alright.
bizarre.
So it's my turn now, right?
It is your turn now. It's 5121.
Builder.
Builder.
Skoda.
Still base, but unfortunately, this too is a Baldwin.
5221.
Oh, that's a question because these are tiny. I'll go with the safe option first. Low pressure cylinders.
Low pressure cylinders.
I do not have any.
Wow.
26 by 24.
Okay. 5321.
Would it be worth it? Do those look small enough? You know what? Sure. High pressure cylinders.
Okay, well, 17.72 by 17.72.
17 by 24 by 2.
Okay. I'm gonna, yeah, that's definitely in the hands of 110. 54 to 21.
Oh, that's another one. Just by looking at this. Gotta compare that to my image real quick. That's not a good comparison.
I'm afraid that when we end here, the points will not show how fraught this thing was. Because Ford has by far the largest engine, and Brian has by far the smallest engine, which is a really interesting combination here. Ford, I feel like you've just got some red question marks in your future.
Red flags. Because half of his lineup is Lithuanian.
All right, what's your
Like you can hear a distant Soviet anthem. Driver diameter.
driver diameter? Okay.
35.4.
Thank God, 44.
44, 55 to 21.
It's rare I find an opportunity where I'm going to win driver diameter.
Now do it with
I am not
now do it
calling
with the
that.
Frenchie.
Oh yeah, tender loaded weight.
Tender loaded weight.
Tender, 56,658.8.
You can't say that I have a tender because this is little 110, not big 110.
Well, we'll
Big
find
fat
you a
goose egg.
tender. 5621, Brian.
All right. Oh yeah. Overall wheelbase.
Already been called.
Oh wait, no.
That's how
Yeah,
we got
that's
here.
the one that I lost.
Wait, what the? That's not right.
Yeah, when I called overall wheelbase, that's when it switched to you.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. My engine wheelbase is shorter than my overall wheelbase, despite the fact that 110 is that little 110 has always been a tank engine.
Interesting.
That's weird. That's wrong.
Something.
Well,
I'm going to call it because I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose anyways, but that's wrong.
Your engine wheelbase is shorter than your overall wheelbase?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I mean, live by the stat sheet, die by the stat sheet.
I mean, someone should.
Speaking of which, I would love to call tender wire capacity, but for some reason, Lil 110 doesn't have it.
Well, you have to call something. You're about out of time.
Okay, I'm gonna take a massive risk that's probably going to backfire. Factor of adhesion.
Factor of adhesion.
I don't think so. 3.07.
Oh,
Believe it or not, that like when you said 3 point, I was still scared. 4.87.
wow.
We're both very
That's
bad,
both.
but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I
holy
win.
cow. Yeah, you do win by like .06 or something like that. But yeah, 57-21, Brian.
Alright, now for another disappointing stat. Attractive effort.
27,134.
You're comparable to a K-27? Well, I have 37,545.
Yeah, when narrow gauge Mikados beat your 2662. 58-21,
Yeah,
Brian.
I'm pretty sure Hercules is more strong than this. Hmm. Oh yeah, this is a bit of a risk, but let's do it anyways. Evaporative heating surface.
Evaporative heating surface.
823.
Oh, that is a lot smaller than I thought it was. 1654.
Okay. 59-21, we have the fourth set of markers now.
Oh. Oh. um. Let's go tubes.
Tubes.
Well, unfortunately, that's one of those things that I don't have.
Here we go again.
Oh.
What has tubes?
Well, I think I'm going to go with 8,000.
Okay, what are the tubes on 8,000 like?
158 by 2.
Brian?
Damn it. 124 by 2.
Okay, and the point goes to 8,000. It's 22-59. You both still have a marker. Fort, you're now calling against small 110, quote unquote.
Yeah.
With 8,000, what's your stat call?
I'm going to go boiler pressure.
Boiler pressure.
200 on the dot.
Fort.
850.
850. 23-59. Fort.
Wait, actually, let me look at this thing. Again, I'm super high pressure. I don't want to jinx it. Firebox area.
Firebox area.
128.
520.
Alright.
Great area.
26.2.
77.
25-59.
Okay, wait a second. Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
I'm gonna block that.
With
I believe Skookum.
Skookum.
I hope I'm remembering this right.
What is your evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume? Skookum.
I remembered it right. 435.26.
That's very good. Fort.
1395.15.
What in the hell?
1,300. That's your
Like,
heating
how-
surface divided by cylinder volume?
Yeah.
1,300.
Evaporative.
Skookum has the best one in my entire lineup, which is surprising because like half of these
Oh!
because
Wait,
most of these are compounds.
Remember, I have a single high pressure cylinder.
It just clicked to me. I was
Yeah.
like, it just clicked. That's why I said, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, 8,000 against Skookum. Fort, you're still calling. It's 26-59.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a superheater surface.
Superheating surface.
Super Soaker.
So I got 2,043.
All right. 27-59.
That's more than 0.
Yeah. Combined heating surface.
1959.
6,309.
Goodness. 28-59. Fort.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Robert Lemessina's power computation.
Mm-hmm.
5660.
65,450.
29-59.
Same as above, but superheater percentage.
5660.
86,644.
30-59.
Same as above, but substitute firebox for great.
21,200.
585,130.
Fort.
L1.
L1.
3764.
143,473. Empty.
Even if I was able to switch to the Petrio board though, I would lose anyways. But anyway, 255.62.
4,933.76.
Broken locomotive. Absurd. Insane. 3359. Now what?
Okay. Now's the question. Wait, I was going up against Skookum, right?
You're going up against Skookum, yes.
My second smallest.
Skookum.
That's a really big drop off between second smallest and smallest in this roster, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with tender water capacity.
Tender water capacity.
4,000 gallons on the dot.
13,811.
That's oddly specific. 3459. Fort.
A tender. Wait a second. Yes, I can. Wait, can I? God. Okay. Okay. Tender fuel capacity.
Are you oil?
Yes.
1,500 gallons.
4,924.
All right.
You
35.
have more oil than I do water.
Yeah. Actually, funny thing, this has like slightly less water than the standard like tender it would normally use, just because they had to put the low pressure water pump in the tender because there was no room for it on the engine.
I was going to say, I feel like the tender is larger than those capacities you just gave us. That explains a little bit. What is your next stack?
Have the pump in it.
I'm gonna go with year.
Year.
1909.
1931.
31.
Pretty sure Skook is the oldest engine in my lineup.
Do I? No, I'm not gonna call that stat. To. No, that wouldn't make sense. No. Ratio of driving wheelbase to overall engine wheelbase.
Wheelbase ratio.
0.32.
0.49.
All right. Helped by the way the loco base is. 3759. Fort.
3759.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with tube and flue length.
Flue tube length.
17.
19.11.
19.11. 3859.
Flues.
I don't have them.
Okay, I got 214 by 3.5.
That's a lot of flues. It's a lot of flues. 3959. Fort.
Okay, so now I am in Skookum.
Yep.
Can't do that. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to call a reset. I'm gonna swap.
Swap 2.
I'm gonna go back to the P5.
Okay, let's bring out the P5 again. Let me really quick just force that reset through. 29 points off the board. 8 markers used. 2 to the next set of markers. What is your stat call with the P5 number 49?
I'm gonna call year.
Or sorry, not 49. 50 to 54. Year built.
1909.
1935.
Okay. 4059.
I'm gonna go with engine wheelbase.
Engine wheelbase.
Engine wheelbase 33.
13.7.
Okay. Good call. 4159. And there are those markers that I was talking about.
Engine weight.
Engine weight 162,650.
83,335.
All right.
Okay, well, let's see. Tender loaded weight.
Tender loaded weight 80,350.
56,658.8.
All right. 4359.
The whole thing is right now I'm like I feel like I'm stepping on eggshells, but then I keep getting surprised that I'm actually winning these, and then I remember wait I'm a 30-inch gauge versus a standard gauge.
Yep. The game is in a very interesting place that I'm not sure we've seen before because you're well on your way to a comeback. I just don't know if I don't know how much runway you're going to have in the end.
Uh, uh, minimum weight of rail
Minimum weight of rail.
54.
28.
Okay.
Oh.
44,
Um,
59.
Overall wheelbase
55.17.
39 even.
All right. 45, 59.
Axle loading.
I don't have it.
Do you have something that does?
Oh boy, I do, but it's gonna be a pain.
Swap to it.
1309.
What is the axle loading of 1309?
62,600.
16,535.
Right, it's a 4659. Brian, you got your big engine out again. How about that?
Yeah, but I really wish I didn't.
Yeah. Oh wait, did I call that? Yeah, total locomotive weight.
Total locomotive weight.
This is where the heavyweight factor comes in. 643,100.
139,994.
At 4759.
I feel like in episode, was it 3 of the What in the World Royales, where I brought unstreamlined Aeolus and everybody was in non-American engines and I was just the fattest. I'm returning to that feeling now.
Hamburger.
Yeah, I'm gonna do ET's weight computation.
I gotta calculate this. Or wait, no, I don't. I'm gonna block to
with?
Peugeot Bourdon.
Ah, Peugeot Bourdon. Okay. Blocks with that. What is your weight computation?
1.
Against?
I also have one.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Brian, you were the opposing contestant. Would you like to swap to break the tie?
No.
No. Fort, you must. What'll it be?
You know what? For a change of pace, I'm going to switch to GP 21.
Okay, 21 gold pieces. Selling big bones on the Grand Exchange. Fort, what is your thing?
0.56.
0.56. Brian, that's a 1, and that's 1 point for you. 60 to 47.
Alrighty, let's see what we have on the thing. Oh yeah, a number in class.
6.
280. Number built.
Fort.
6. Sorry, I blanked out there for a second.
Okay, 280. I was wondering what was going on.
Fort was back in the trenches with the Peugeot Bourdon.
He had a non-flashback. World War I flashback, actually. A builder.
Skoda.
Baldwin. Where have we heard those two before?
Yes,
63-47.
I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu here,
At least
sir.
it's not the P5 versus the Peugeot Bourdon again.
Yeah, oh my god.
All right, 63-47.
Rigid wheelbase.
Rigid wheelbase.
Yeah. So this would be 14.76.
1.475.
64-47.
Weight on drivers.
Wait on drivers.
121,254.
28,197. I wonder where we've seen that number before.
65-47.
Alrighty then. Uh-oh.
I took all of your I took most of your small stats before. Haha.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is Like, there are things I can definitely win against that. But I noticed something.
What
Something that could
things?
be a very big problem.
What things? What do you mean there are things you can
Uh,
win against that? Okay.
yeah, I definitely can.
Okay. Prove it.
Such as, tubes.
Tubes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, here's the weird one. Yeah, 126, basically 2 inch.
2.008, if I remember correctly.
No, it's like 2.027.
Yeah, it's
you
not the
know,
metric conversion problem. It's something else entirely.
That,
Uh,
that's weird because when you last brought that thing, I remember it being 2.008.
no, I updated it because I updated it because I remeasured because I got like an actual blueprint that had like the measurements
Oh
on it.
yeah. Okay. Okay. But still, 96 at 1.772.
yep. 66 against 47. Brian.
Now this is the painful part. I gotta check back here. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. No, wait. That might work because I remember that. Okay, Loco Base ID.
Local base ID.
1651.
Damn it, 4953. I thought the GP was higher than the other two.
The point goes to...
Well, it is higher than the other two, but the other two were in the 1300s.
I meant like in the 10,000s.
Not quite, apparently.
Damn it.
Fort, it's a 48 to 66.
You know, I was just about to call valve gear until I looked at the picture again. Okay.
Just... Never mind. I
mean, I see a banana, so...
I have questions about these, about this game. Not the game, but about this competition specifically.
Tender water capacity.
401.
8,448.
You think
Yes, that 1 gallon totally matters.
You think they, like, the spec said it could fit 400 gallons and they realized they could overfill it by just a little bit? Like, that goes all the way up to the rims of the
No, what
filler caps?
they did was when they were building it outside of like the blueprints, they raised like the lid so it's stuck on a tube instead of just being flat with the top of the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you see what they did is they took the hose that's on the one side. I could share a picture of that later, and they filled that entire hose with water.
Oh god, yeah.
All right. Anyway, Fort.
Tender fuel capacity.
Tender fuel capacity.
0.4.
Hey, wait a second, that's where it went. 14.6.
Okay. 50 to 60.
I get it, because it would be 15 if you combined them.
Yeah. Driver diameter.
Yeah, you have the largest in this lineup. Either of ours. 25.6.
78.7.
All right.
Remember when you just beat out me because I had 78 inches on Aeolus?
Oh god, yeah, I remember that.
51,
Yes,
66.
your express engine.
Fort.
Boiler pressure.
174.
235.135.
Is that before or after the bullet holes, Brian?
Maybe after. Maybe it was built as 180. I don't know.
Fort.
Wait a second. Yeah, you're still in the French. Okay, yeah. High pressure cylinders.
689. 6.89 by 9.45 by 4.
Yeah, so 23.23 by 26.77, and there are two.
I'm not going to make you guys do math for that.
We don't even need to do the math. Smaller cylinders beat this.
53 by 66.
Tractive effort.
5184.
Tractive effort?
Yeah, 5,184. This thing is
Oh.
tiny.
Okay, sorry, I misheard. When you just said the numbers out loud, I thought it was in the 50,000s.
No,
Okay, yeah, that makes much
the
more sense.
cylinders
Well,
are
I know that.
tiny.
Why do you think I was so confused? Okay, 35,494.
All right, 5466. That's our next set of markers up.
I'm pretty sure
Uh,
the only other engine that's weaker than the GP in my lineup is Skook.
okay,
Everything
so,
else would walk it.
okay, so, ooh, okay, actually, you know what? Let's stay on the course. Let's do something safe first. Robert Lemessina's power computation.
I'm
Uh,
gonna swap
Okay, block with
a block with 1309.
1309. 1 second, let me clear up the board here. That was 22 stats called before this. There are 10 markers used so far, and that was just Robert Livingston's power computation called by Fort Brian.
15,162.
Fort?
can I, can
No.
I swap? Okay, never mind. So 12,149.
Okay, and the point goes to Brian, 67 to 54.
I didn't know that it would reset after 2 markers used by the same person. I thought it had to be both sides.
Nope, it's
No, it's
every
just
2.
every 2 markers.
Okay. Well, you're built.
Year built.
1936.
1949.
Okay, 6854.
Builder.
Skoda?
Baldwin. Where have we heard those 2 before?
Yep.
Number and class.
6.
10.
7054.
Number built.
6.
10.
Alright.
Oh. Low pressure cylinders.
Yeah, I'm going to swap.
You're going to swap or block with?
Block. Sorry, yeah, block. Sorry, with 8,000.
Okay, what are your low pressure cylinders with the 8000?
24 by 30, and I have 2.
35 by 32 by 2.
And those are some big old cylinders. 72 to 54. Brian takes that.
High pressure cylinders.
15.5 by 28, and there's 1.
22 by 32 by 2.
73 to 54. Brian.
Okay. I wonder. Oh, that might actually be smart. That is smart. I'm gonna call tender fuel capacity.
Tender fuel capacity.
I mean, I'm oil.
Yep. Do you have something
I'm
that's
coal.
coal?
Yeah.
Switch to it.
I'm going to go with. Guess I'm gonna. I'll go. Okay. Yeah, I'll go back to the GP.
Okay, back to the GP. What's your tender fuel capacity?
14.6.
14.6?
Plan worked. 16.
16. 74 to 54. For those that have seen the what is that? The Mopac AJ match, or sorry, the Mopac AJ match. It is now occurring to me that the 2 Selkirk-based lineups have the exact same Achilles heel.
Geez, surprise, surprise.
Anyway, that was a win for Brian. What's your next stat call, Brian?
Rigid wheelbase.
Rigid wheelbase.
Yeah, I'm going to block.
Block with?
The TK.
The tea kettle. Okay, and that also causes a reset. Let me take care of that really quick. That was 8 things called before this happened. 12 things used, and rigid wheelbase is this one right here. What is the rigid wheelbase of the TK?
7.54.
Brian?
Damn. 10.
10. Point goes to Fort. 55 to 74. It's a gap
Well,
of
I'm gonna-
only 19.
Okay, so before it gets taken by something else, tender loaded weight.
Tender loaded weight.
Damn. 208,200.
Big fat goose egg.
Alright.
Yeah.
5674. Fort.
A minimum weight of rail.
102.
65.
Fort.
More axle loading.
62,600.
38,581.
5874.
Weight on drivers.
366,700.
78,401.
Alright.
Engine weight.
434,900.
182,785. Loco base ID.
Local base ID.
No. 15,843.
1,307.
That's
Because for some reason the subclass of H6 that 1309 is a separate entry from the normal H6. Sometimes for the good, but in the case of Loco Base ID, for the worse. There
alright.
are differences between the two.
6174. Fort.
Engine wheelbase.
Engine wheelbase, 48.83.
31.49.
Alright, not getting you this time. 6274.
Yeah. Overall wheelbase.
That was the one.
88.56.
31.49.
6374. We've got 3 points till more markers.
Okay. What? No, definitely can't do that one. No, that won't work. Oh God, how? This is it's a giant freight engine. Okay, so,
You guys have reset
No.
the board between 20 and 29 5 out of 6 times. Interesting statistical anomaly.
Okay. I think. Okay, so
Gotta pick something.
your weight computation.
Alice Tamelio's weight computation. Let's see it.
This is going to be a mistake on your end.
We'll see. Brian?
Or
You-
just
Do
calculate.
you guys have to do math? Okay.
I mean, I wrote it down, so.
Ford has it written down. Yeah, this was.
I haven't done this one yet, so it would be 0.84.
Oh, 0.43.
Yeah, that's about right for a big heavy freight engine versus a little passenger tank. 75-63, Brian takes it.
Low pressure cylinders.
I mean, I don't have any.
35 by 32.
Okay. 76-63, Brian.
High pressure cylinders.
19.69 by 24.8, and there are two of them.
22 by 32.
77-63, we've got the next set of markers on the board.
I wonder what I can do here. Huh. Is that a risk or is that not? Oh, well, that isn't a risk. Builder.
Builder.
Skoda.
Baldwin. I wonder where I've heard those names before.
78-63.
Okay.
It's interesting to me how Skoda was like Skoda ruled this ruled Lithuania. It seems.
Yeah, I mean all the new build classes, like they made a deal with the Canadian government, and all 5 classes that they made before Lithuania was conquered again were made by Skoda.
Huh.
Made a deal with the Canadian government? What?
No. I'm talking about the Skoda and Lithuanian government.
You said Canadian.
You said Canadian
You
government.
said-
Oh wait, did I? Sorry.
Yeah. All right. I
I was,
was
like,
I was
confused, like,
confused,
what?
but
What does
I
our
wasn't gonna
country
get
have to
into
do
the
with this?
international politics, and I just okay, yeah, sure. I bet they did.
Yes, it's like the Canadian Pacific observation cars in, what was it, Belgium?
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, those.
also
Alright,
Saudi's effort. Brian, what's your next stack?
yeah. Tender fuel capacity.
I'm Wait, if I swap to something with oil, does he have to swap?
No,
Okay, never mind.
you can't swap to something you don't have the stat for, quote unquote.
No. If I were to swap with something as or with oil fuel, would he have to swap to something with oil?
No, because it counts as not having the stat when you're different fuels. So you can't swap to something you don't have the stat for.
Okay. 4.5.
16.
16. 79.63.
Tender water capacity.
Tender water capacity.
I'm going to swap.
Gonna block with
I'll block, yes. With 8,000 again.
8,000. Let's see tender water capacity on 8,000.
Tender water capacity is 13,811.
12,000 gallons.
And the point goes to 8,000. It's 64-79.
Ah, yes. Now all is right in the world. I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't mean
Suddenly
that.
realize what's going. I suddenly realize I forgot to do something.
All of the power stats?
Yeah. Forgot to get rid of those. No.
Yes.
I've still got a cushion. I'm fine.
Boiler pressure.
Boiler pressure.
210, which is
Eight.
sad.
Yeah, 850.
H50.
Even if you had something else, you'd probably beat me still.
65-79 fort.
Tractive effort.
70,773.
90,666.
66.
Strong lad.
Okay, yeah, firebox area.
Firebox area 389.
520.
67.
Great area.
72.2.
77. Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
342.78.
6,000. Sorry, wrong number. 1395.15.
Might as well be 6,000 because nothing's beating it.
Robert Limousine's power computation.
I'm gonna die. 15,162.
65,450.
70-79.
Same as above, but substitute but plus superheater percentage.
17,740.
86,644. Same as above, but substitute firebox.
95,577.
585,130. Power L1.
8550.
143,473. MT?
308.42.
4,933.76.
The age of the
All right,
design
what are you gonna do
shows
now,
in
big
Power
guy?
MT.
What you gonna do now, big guy? Where's all your trump cards?
79-74. Ford is still calling. It's down by 5.
Total locomotive weight.
Total locomotive weight.
Interesting.
643,100.
Rat, I forgot about this one. 795,250.
Difference of almost 100,000 pounds.
Huzzah.
80-74, Brian is back in control. 6-point lead.
And I'm going to swap to the Peugeot Bourdon.
Swap to the Peugeot Bourdon.
Just let me get the lead so I can knock that thing out.
No.
26 stat calls and 14 markers used, which are all of the markers on the board. We'll have more in 6 points.
Oh, I should have let you do that, so then I could go get down, Mr. President, with one of the 110s.
All right, Brian, what's your stat call?
Alright then, let's start off strong. Number in class.
Number in class.
Yeah, 1,
280. Number built.
1.
280. Builder.
Angus shops.
Baldwin. Isn't Angus in Calgary?
I believe it was.
Or is that the one in freaking Montreal?
No, wait, maybe it was because this was no, yeah, I think it was because this was tested out before it was sent west. It was tested out in Ontario. So yeah, Angus Shops was the one over on this side of the country.
Okay, because I'm always confused because I wonder. Anyway, back to Royale. Rigid wheelbase.
Yeah. 23.5.
Hamburger. 1.475.
Brian.
Engine wheelbase.
47.54.
7.55. Overall wheelbase.
99.29.
7.55.
All right, 86-74. More markers are on the board.
Minimum weight of rail.
Yeah. I'm gonna swap.
Okay, you're gonna block with.
Block. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I keep using the wrong words. I'm going to block with the P5.
The P5. Okay, minimum weight of rail of the P5.
28.
12.
12. Okay. 87-74.
You absolute fool. You've activated my trap card. Tender loaded weight.
Right. Yeah. 56,658.8.
Goose egg.
Goose egg. 88-74.
Like, actually the weight of a goose egg, except not really. Overall wheelbase. Oh, wait, no. That was
Yeah,
called.
you already called that.
Weight on drivers. That's what I was going to
Weight on drivers.
83,335.
28,197.
89-74.
Engine weight.
Engine weight.
83,335.
Refer to my previous answer.
All right. 92-74.
Total engine and tender weight.
139,994.
Refer to my previous answer.
Brian.
Am I calling now?
You still
Yes.
are.
Okay. Power MT.
Our MT.
1,141.99.
That's pretty good, but it doesn't beat 1401.72.
1401. 92-274. Brian.
Alright. Evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume.
162.78.
355.57.
93-74.
Those tiny cylinders are good for one thing. Anyway, ooh, this is gonna be interesting. Tubes.
Tubes.
Remember, I don't got these.
Do you have something that
Oh,
does?
yeah. I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about this.
Yeah, Yeah, 8,000.
Okay, tubes of 8,000, please.
158 by 2.
96 by 1.772.
All right. 9474.
All right. Uh, hmm. Let's look at this. Hmm.
Ford, I think that last
Oh yeah,
block
I can
was
take this risk now. Loco base ID.
Loco Base ID.
This does not have one.
Oh,
Uh, that's
does that count as not having a stat?
it's that's a tough call for me. I'm
I mean,
gonna.
it's not on Loco Base, so it shouldn't.
It's I. This has come up before. This has come up before, and I don't remember what I did.
Was it written in the rules?
It wasn't written in the rules because there's nothing for this, and I can't remember what I did. Um, Locomotives not on Steam. Locomotive.com. Get 5th place or 1 point is the Royale version of it. I want to say that it's an unknown, but really it's a known 0 because we know it's going to be higher than any current entry, unless they do infill, which I don't think they do. Um, so, oh, shoot, I can't remember what I did last time. People in the comments can yell at me, but I think this is just a... I think this is just a win for Brian. Uh, so, yeah, I'll give the... What is yours, Brian?
Mine is 4953.
Okay. It's a 95 to 74.
All right, and I'm still calling against Chonker.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look around here. What might work? Hmm. No, no, no. Wait. Would that?
Brian's thinking.
Would that?
Brian's 5 points from victory. How's it going to end?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I could do that, but also... I'm gonna use a swap.
Okay, swap 2.
I'm gonna swap to, Skookum. Yeah, Skookum.
Okay, swap to Skookum. I think, for the record, that was the correct call. Skookum. And you're now calling against 8,000 with a clear board and 5 points to go. And 11 till the
Oh,
next set of
yeah.
markers. What'll it be?
Builder.
Builder.
The Angus shops.
Baldwin.
Alright.
Rigid wheelbase.
23.5.
If I remember correctly, yep, it's 5.335.
5.335, 9774.
Engine wheelbase.
Engine wheelbase.
47.54.
33.
Alright. Brian.
Minimum weight of rail.
Minimum weight of rail.
107.
54.
99 points. How are you going to end it?
Let me look around here and see what I can do.
You've got options.
Definitely do. I definitely do. What would be the best way to end this?
Best way would be to run out of time and then let Fort score 26 points unopposed and win.
You please.
Oh, there is one funny thing I can do. Loco base ID.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, Fort, that would be a
Yeah,
known 0 on your part, and I'm going to
yeah.
say 100 points for Brian. If
My
I did
local
that
base ID is
differently,
4069.
if I did that before, or if I did it differently before, I apologize for being inconsistent, but it should be a known 0. It would be kind of shenaniganous if I did it the other way. Um, technically it is an unknown, but it would be higher. I don't know. I handled it the way I did this time around. I don't think it functionally would have mattered. I need to sort of codify that, or make an assertion one way or the other. But locomotives not on loco base are probably, you don't have a superheater. You're not on loco base. You don't have a loco base ID. Um, it's not an unknown, really. It's just it doesn't exist. Uh, well,
Or I do apologize for like being a bit cheeky with a lot of my stuff, but this is how I've learned to play the game: is play to my strengths and avoid KOs like the plague.
Well, I think Brian, I think you played well, and Fort, I think you had a couple of paths to victory.
And I missed them all.
Yeah, you missed a couple of plays. I think that last block really doomed you because you were in a position that you could have potentially come back. I feel, um, but I'm actually kind of surprised to see Bryant moving on from this. The Super Selkirk is a good engine, and
Oh
1309 is kind of is less exciting in the stats than it could be in a lot of cases. Um, but
no! Oh
you know,
no! I've
fun,
got to
but-
go up against Kaiserin again.
Yeah, you should have thought about that.
yeah, obviously
I
just
did
die
think
so you
about
wouldn't have to
that.
do that again. That's where the 26 unanswered points comes from. Um, this one's have a known value is going to refer to be called, including those where the apparent value is 0. Let me just.
If the apparent value for Loco base ID is 0, then wouldn't that mean he wins?
No, I mean, theoretically, yes, but
Actually, his Loco base ID is the sun.
in this case, known 0, it's a weird one because it's technically unknown, but we know it would be higher than anything. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
sort of like,
Infinity.
it's sort of like there are some corollaries or some analogs that are bad examples. Like if you see a locomotive with a tender, but they don't have tender weight, and you're a tank engine, you should win, but it's an unknown number, so we have to, we just sort of shuffle along, as it were.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a tough spot. Loco base ID is an interesting one because it's not really a statistic in the first place. It's just a measure of when it got entered into loco base, and it rounds out the 40, and it's an interesting wild card.
Yeah.
I
As I
think
said I would post it earlier, I'm going to grab that picture of the Peugeot Bourdon with the hose.
people can argue about what they want me to do here, but I think I've shut that down the same way. I think I would have shut that down the same way. I don't know though.
There it is, 43325 with the hose.
I could have
Hmm.
done it differently. I don't know. That's my biggest
Well,
point
it
of
looks like
contention
a
in this game.
klaxon.
You do have a little klaxon.
Yeah.
A wooga!
But yeah, Brian, you're going to go on to fight Kaiserin again. We'll see how that goes.
Hopefully I
Eh.
won't make the same mistakes. I've learned a bit.
Last match ended 76-79, and Brian had 79 points, Kaiserin had 76 points, and Kaiserin won. Went on to face Horizon, went on to face East, and is now down here in the losers bracket, facing off against Brian again for the chance to continue on and potentially go back to face East. Again. So
If I manage to beat Kaiserin, then I will have some confidence in possibly beating East.
well, you'll need to get
Because
through a couple
East's
more
entire strength is style points, right?
people. The
He goes for KOs and wins.
Well, not necessarily, but he does have a lot of style points in that roster.
And that was my problem against Kaiserin, is I kept end up getting into KOs, and I tried to KO for my last thing, and that was a mistake.
Yep.
But now that I'm going all points, I'm winning.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame to see this roster go, and it's a shame to see the Supercell Kirk fall out of the lineup. Maybe our third exhibition match can be between you and AJ, so that we have the Selkirk and the Supercell Kirk.
Yeah. I will say, at least on the very bright side, I can finally close this window that's had all of my locomotive information and stuff like that, which has been open since the competition was first announced.
Well, I'm glad, because I've had to tell people their locomotive information too many times.
It almost feels like I'm killing a child when I click on that X. Oh.
Yeah. Locomotives not on Steam, locomotive.com are considered to be infinity. I've codified that into the rules, so it doesn't have to be shenaniganrous ever again, because I don't think they do infill. They just add on to the end after they eliminate stuff in the middle, because it's not consistent, the numbers. You can find local base IDs that don't point to anything. But yeah, so I have to now schedule the match between you and Kaiserin again, Brian, and need to work up the other side of the bracket and see if AJ makes it out, or if Bender or Horizon makes it out. And by Horizon, I of course mean TJ.
Just know that now I'm really only open for weekends now. I have job. I managed to get job.
Well, I'm glad you got job, and we will figure that out. Thank you guys for playing.
Maybe in the future I'll have a part-time job instead of a full-time job, because this is by no means permanent. But it's full-time, so.
Well, we'll see how it goes. We've been pretty flexible. We managed to schedule all the matches so far without too much chaos and calamity. We only had one weird late at night match, and we only had one weird early in the morning match. So, Fort, was that yours?
Yes.
Yeah, no, Fort, yours was the weird early in the morning match, and Brian, yours was the weird late at night match. So, going forward, we might be able to avoid all of that. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you. I don't know when this is coming out. I think this is coming out the December 5th, probably. If I had to hazard a guess, or it's either I think this is coming out November 29th. So we'll see you next week.
When's the Milky and I's match gonna be out?
I think that might be the 20th. Yeah, it's gonna be the 28th and the 29th. That's why those numbers seem so familiar. Last episode was you against Milky, and then this episode is you against Fort, and it's entirely possible, depending how difficult it is to schedule the other match, the next episode is going to be you against Kaiserin. So it's you taking on the world of the losers bracket.
Much like many of the stats in my stat pages, I'm going to be asking, where have we seen this before?
Yeah.
Well, Fort,
I should have named my entire roster Deja Vu, but
110
again,
and 110.
With hindsight, not foresight.
Well, Fort, good luck next time.
I'll you can kick me out of the chat then. So.
Good game, Fort. Good game. You were a valiant component. You put in a valiant effort.
Yeah.
Did you say
that
component?
Stupid little French thing.
It's not stupid. It's just
French.
It's French.
No, it is stupid. It made me lose.
It's not even French that much, because it's Baldwin.
No, I'm gonna go stupid little French thing. That's gonna be the end of this video.
This too
is French.